It begins with a sound, a roar so loud, sailors hundreds of miles away think the world is ending. The ground trembles, the air ignites, and then the mountain explodes. April 1815. A remote island in the Dutch East Indies. Mount Tambora awakens, and the planet will never be the same. Because what happens next is not just an eruption. It's the most powerful explosion in recorded human history. An event so devastating that it changes the course of the Earth itself. This is the story of Tambora, the day the world went dark, and the eruption that almost ended civilization. Introduction. Setting the stage. Indonesia, early 19th century. A region of islands built by fire. Above the calm seas and dense forests, giants sleep beneath the earth. Tambora, a towering stratovolcano on Sumbawa Island, had once reached nearly 4,300 meters, one of the highest peaks in the archipelago. But for centuries it lay silent. Villages grew along its fertile slopes. Farmers tilled rich volcanic soil. Children played beneath the shadow of a mountain that seemed eternal. Until one day it wasn't. The warning signs. January 1815. Strange tremors begin to shake the island. Smoke curls from the mountain's peak. Local fishermen report thunder that rolls endlessly from deep inside the earth. By April, the sky over Sumbawa glows with a dull red haze. Animals flee. The ground cracks open, releasing pillars of fire. Then, on April 5th, the first explosion tears through the mountain. A plume of ash rises, 15 miles high. Villagers hundreds of kilometers away hear the thunder and think it's cannon fire. But this is only the beginning. The eruption, April 10th, 1815. April 10th, 7 p.m. Night falls on Sumbawa. The earth heaves one final time. And then the world explodes. A deafening roar splits the sky. The top third of Mount Tambora disintegrates in a blinding flash. Molten rock, ash, and fire blast upward with unimaginable force, sending a column 30 miles into the stratosphere. Lightning crackles inside the ash cloud. Boulders the size of houses rain down for miles. Within minutes, villages on Tambora's slopes are vaporized. Entire communities erased in a wave of fire. Ash darkens the sky across Indonesia. The sea begins to boil near the coast. And the sound is heard nearly 2,000 kilometers away in Sumatra. People think it's the sound of war, but it's something far greater. The world in darkness. By morning, the sun no longer rises. Ash blots out the light. The air thickens, unbreathable, heavy with sulfur and dust. Ships at sea find themselves drifting through darkness at noon. The ocean is covered in floating pumice. Rain mixed with ash falls like black snow. Tens of thousands are already dead. Those who survived the blast now face something worse: starvation. Crops are buried. Water is poisoned. And the island of Sumbawa falls silent, a land of ash and ghosts. Global aftermath. The year without a summer. But Tambora's fury doesn't stop at Indonesia. The eruption was so massive, it ejected over 150 cubic kilometers of ash into the atmosphere, 10 times more than Mount St. Helens. The stratosphere fills with sulfuric aerosols, reflecting sunlight back into space. The planet begins to cool. By 1816, the world enters a new age, the year without a summer. In North America, snow falls in June. In Europe, skies turn orange and red, beautiful and deadly. Crops fail. Livestock die. Famine spreads across continents. Rivers freeze in July. Starving families burn furniture for warmth. In Ireland, thousands perish from hunger and disease. In China, floods and frost wipe out rice fields. In Switzerland, a young woman named Mary Shelley, trapped indoors by endless rain, begins to write a novel. A story born from the dark skies of Tambora. That story is Frankenstein, the science of destruction. Modern science reveals the unimaginable scale of Tambora's eruption. The explosion released an estimated 160 cubic kilometers of material, sending ash 43 kilometers high. That's equivalent to a VI7 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, 1,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The force of the blast removed nearly 1,500 meters from the mountain's height. The crater left behind, 6 kilometers wide and 1 kilometer deep, is still there today, a scar on the face of the Earth. Global temperatures dropped by nearly 3 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric circulation shifted. For 3 years, sunlight was filtered through a veil of volcanic haze. And for millions of people, survival became a daily struggle. Human cost. Estimates suggest over 90,000 people died in Indonesia alone, most not from lava, but from famine and disease. The eruption disrupted monsoon patterns, destroyed food supplies, and sent refugees fleeing across the islands. The death toll makes Tambora not just the deadliest volcanic eruption in history, but one of the most lethal natural disasters ever recorded. And yet, in 1815, the world was largely unaware of what had truly happened. There were no satellites, no global communication, no understanding that a single mountain could change the entire planet. A world forever changed. In the years that followed, the Earth slowly began to heal. Skies cleared. Temperatures rose again. But the lessons of Tambora remained. The eruption reshaped global agriculture, sparked scientific curiosity about climate, and showed humanity its fragility. It reminded us that beneath our feet lies a power greater than all our empires combined. Today, the crater of Tambora sits quiet. Tourists visit its rim. Birds nest in its forests. But deep beneath the surface, the fire still sleeps. Waiting. Reflection. The bigger picture. In 1815, a single mountain silenced the world. It darkened the skies, ended lives, and changed history. And yet, it also gave birth to understanding, to the study of climate, to the awareness that we live on a living planet, one that breathes, burns, and remembers. So, the question remains, if Tambora could do this in 1815, what would happen if a volcano like it erupted today? Could we survive it? Or would history repeat itself? What if Earth faces the next supervolcano? Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe for more cinematic science stories.